Hello everybody, DEMONJESTERJ here with 5+ questions to a mile maker. And my guest is...
Hi, I'm Chris Michaels here from PoweredPlayGaming.
How you doing today, sir?
Better than I deserve, but getting by.
That's cool. Are you ready for the... Are you ready for the 8 questions?
Yeah, bring them on.
Alright. First question is, who are you? Please tell us about yourself and your hobby, and also do you have more than a hobby?
Sure. So, like I said, my name's Chris Michaels. I'm the Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of PoweredPlayGaming. We make LED lighting kits for modelers, actually. So if you're a hobbyist, if you do planes, trains, and automobiles, if you're a tabletop gamer, if you are an architect, if you're somebody who does dioramas, we're building the tools to make it easy for you to model. Personally, I grew up doing a lot of historical models and scale models. I've always been doing the planes and trains, the automobiles. I have stealth bombers and all sorts of historical World War II and Vietnam era planes that I love to do.
Cool.
And I've been doing it since I was probably 6 years old. I think my father turned me on to it.
All right. Ready for number 2?
Bring it on.
Number 2. What got you into your hobby and how long you've been into it? You started on that one. That's why I had to do it.
Yeah. So what got me into it? Keeping me out of trouble, I think, and scouts, actually. I know when I was growing up through Cub Scouts, there was actually a hobby little... They didn't have merit badges in Scouts. They had those little belt buckle things that you would put on. And there was one on there for arts and crafts or hobbies, and I got into doing trains and planes with my father for that one. But it really actually rubbed off with my uncle, too, who was a big hobbyist. He did RC cars. He did have massive train decorations, especially when it came down to Christmas time. And then he started, really expanding into terrain or making custom pieces or, how do we really get into the shaping, the crafting, the modeling of the art instead of just getting something that's a piece of plastic out of the box. And putting it together, like how can we really make that our own? And I think from an early age, that's really how I got into the hobby. And it's 25 years later, I'm still just as enthusiastic. I think I took a bit of a hiatus when I went to college, but since starting, since starting the company here and realizing that the potential of our product of what it can do, I've really gotten back into it full throttle.
All right. Number 3, ready?
Uh-huh.
When and why did you start making YouTube videos? And have you met anyone from YouTube because of it?
When my co-founder, here's a little backstory, is when we decided that we wanted to make LED lighting kits for models, it actually started because he for a number of years was a gamer, played 40K for about 12 years and put his stuff up for a while when he went and had kids. Well, about 4 years later, his son walks into the garage, finds his case of minis, and says, "Dad, this is cool. What the heck is going? Tell me a bit about the game." And so Asher got turned on to it, and instead of letting Asher wreck his army, he went out and bought him a new one off of eBay. Get something that's horribly painted, let a 4-year-old horribly painted, as 4-year-olds do. But he's sitting there looking at one of his Rhino tanks saying, how can I put lights in this? Because my son would love it. So he went on YouTube and went to look at all the tutorials, and there was nothing at all that was simple on the technology side. So if you look at all the tutorials out there, it's somebody who's telling you need this many ohms of resistance, you need a DVM, you need all the tools and the tips and the electrical engineering. And without having any of that, you're kind of, up the creek without a paddle. You're sitting there going, well, I bought $200 worth of stuff and I don't know how to make it work. So what we wanted to do was create something that's simple, easy to plug in. You can see here we've got our own little PC board, all the lights plugged in, a little battery connector, and then show people how easy and simple it is. So we started creating YouTube videos that says, here's the kit. You want a blue light? Plug it in. You want a red light? Plug it in. You want to do some object source lighting, and you want to learn some of the tricks there? take our kit, point it at your model, take a picture of it, and then use that as a reference as you do your painting and shading. If you want to know, tricks on how to, light weapons, we wanted people to know the easiest way to put lights, because a lot of people, for 40K players like myself, I've started building my first 40K army, which is a Tau army. And I wanted to know how am I going to put lights in the last camps? How am I going to do some underglow? How am I going to light the engines that I have back here? And we want to be able to give people some of those tutorials of how they do it. So if I'm looking at my new ion cannon for my Riptide, I want to know that when I turn it on and how I'm going to wire it and how I'm going to piece it together, it's being held together with a little rubber band right now before I glue it. But give people the tools, the talent, and the time to really make things work simply and reduce a lot of the headache that's out there. So that's why we did it. The second half of your question, have we met a lot of people? Yes, yourself included. We've met folks, the guys at Screaming Heretic who saw our Kickstarter that's out there and said, wow, this is awesome. And then they saw our video of how simple and easy it is to use. And they're like, well, shit, we thought it was just made up, but that really is simple. So, it's been great for people who've seen some of the videos to then become advocates for us as well and see the passion and the possibilities of what they can do with their models actually become reality.
All right. Ready for number 4?
Bring it on.
Do you have any tips for anyone new get into your hobby? And this includes making YouTube videos.
I'd say the first thing is know what's out there. Do some research, just find out what everybody's got. Whether it be people who do painting tutorials, if it's people who are doing modeling and then they're doing lighting tutorials to tell you how it's done. Find something that's somewhat unique, or at least take a different perspective on it. I'd say it would be the first one. But look at if there's a new way to do something, or if you think there's an easier way to do something, call it out. Say, hey, here's somebody who made a video of how to do, how to paint a Doom Scythe. Well, you thought that was cool. Now let's put some lights on it. And here's the easy way that you could do it with fiber optics. It's taking it a step beyond what's just the simple part, and then applying that to your craft and your specialty.
All right. Okay. This is number 5. This used to be a big argument on the war game forums. And I know you're smiling because you know it was. Everybody knows this one. Now, number 5 is, do you like an airbrush or paintbrush, or do you use both, and why?
I do use both. I have a master airbrush that I'm actually quickly going to replace with a Badger brush. The master one that I have actually broke after the second use of it. But
I recommend Badger Chrome Renegade. I'm not associated with Badger. No, I have to say that.
I actually met the team at Badger, as well as guys from Awesome Paint Job and Les, and a few other people, from Victoria Miniatures at Adepticon.
Oh, yeah.
And they were just really telling us, why do we want to use, products over products and which really are the best. And, what I've come to find out, my hammerhead here was all done by hand. And, it's pretty craptastic, I would say.
It looks good to me.
It does the trick. But when there's certain effects that you want, whether it be shading, and you want it to be a better gradient than what you can get with a brush, I find that the airbrush really does well. If you're doing object source lighting and you want to show those effects, you want to be able to do more natural lighting and highlighting instead of having, what I look at the Games Workshop models that are a lot of them that are out there, and everything looks like it came out of the movie Tron. So Having something that's more
One or
realistic.
two.
Yeah. Either. Having something that looks more realistic. So, if you look at my Assault Terminator here, you can see he's really not highlighted much. He's only really highlighted on where light is actually going to hit him from a natural angle.
Yeah, but when you turn the lights on, it automatically does something different because it highlights the other areas where the light is. So
Exactly.
you
So I'm using the lighting from our kit as well as using some of the the painting techniques to provide
you're
artificial light.
here. You're taking a mini that is already cool with lighting techniques and adding real light to it, which made me go, wow. I want to do that. I want to make my Necrons whole. I want to make my Necrons. Now I'm sorry to say this to everybody that knows I play Necrons, but I'm not playing Warhammer anymore because I don't have the money to get back into the game.
Yeah.
I'm going to play War Machine and Hordes so I can play. And count also it's a bigger game here in Orlando. It's not as Warhammer is not as common. War Machine is. So I'm sorry, I have to go with what the game is being played so I can play.
Well, whether you're doing War Machine or Warhammer, I think
your kit will help.
And I think just understanding how light works. One of the more popular videos that we've done was a quick tutorial on how to use our kit for OSL. And so if you want to know how to simply light something or at least provide some natural light, take one of your colors. So let's say in this instance I want to use green because green carries really well. And I want to know where am I going to highlight my Doomscythe? Well, hold it at the angle or distance that you want for intensity and take a picture of it. And then what that does is that gives you a point of reference to know exactly where you need to highlight to provide some more realism to the lighting.
I want your kit just for it's like you do source lighting.
Yeah. So doing source lighting, being able to really define where, because you
source lighting with Airbrush is phenomenal, and if you learn how to do it just right with the angling it just right, and you're just showing with the light where to put the angle right. Think of how easy it's going to help the airbrusher learn how to do source lighting.
Yeah, well, the airbrusher or even the regular paintbrush. If I'm pulling out one of my brushes, I've got one of my brushes here. Of course, this is a nice thick barrel brush that I wouldn't necessarily be using for
you just as a focal point.
Right, but if I want to know how to go over the edge and what part of the edge, and that's just this is just the very tip of the part that I want lit because I want my light coming in from this angle. I'm able to then take a picture, know the reference point, and just go right over that tiny little edge, or just go right over this area here, and then just fade it down. So you're able to do both techniques with one simple kit and make it, have realistic lighting effects. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I think having the combination of both airbrushing and traditional brushing gives you that ability to do.
All right. Ready for number 6?
Yes, sir.
Now this one I know a lot of people either have a short answer because they've done their favorite mini, or they have the long one because they've done so many. So, and this goes into, since you're a model maker too, and not just a war gamer, this goes to you too.
Right.
So, what was your favorite mini or model to paint and build, and why?
Probably would have been a model aircraft carrier. And I think it was the Ronald Reagan that I did about 7 or 8 years ago.
You built the Ronald Reagan?
Yeah.
Was it level 4 or level 5?
Say again?
Level 4 or level 5?
Probably level 4.
Okay. The level 4, the 5 was, I built the 5. And I wanted to cry. I got it done, but it was like, they made so many small pieces.
Yeah, they really did. But, the cool thing is that I did a cutaway on the Ronald Reagan. And so, some of it had the decks cutaway. So you had the aircraft, the holding deck on the inside in that hangar. And I did a cutaway, and then I actually had some manned minis inside that I had poached from another model set somewhere. So it's almost like a diorama setup where you actually had the crew on the interior all painted, and have them,
You always have to make your model yours. I mean, I don't
yeah.
care who you are. Like, I'm making this R2D2 into a diorama slash lamp, and the
Hmm.
lamp's gonna be a bowl. I'm making a painted lampshade that's gonna be a paper. It's technically a Japanese paper lantern. So I'm
Right.
painting it like the Death Star, and R2D2 is gonna be underneath it, and he's gonna be lit up. So it's gonna be a lit up R2D2 with this big paper dome on top. That's Death Star. And I
Right.
was I was trying to get C3PO, but I can't find a 3 foot tall, 2 foot tall C3PO to match the height of the 7 inch tall R2D2. So everybody's like, "Oh, why? Yeah, they make them." I'm like, "Yeah, for $340 they make them."
Yeah. Yeah.
This
Well.
R2D2 is worth 200. This R2D2 is worth $200 right now
Yeah.
because
Well,
it's and
and that's why I think doing things and making it your own is really what for me has been awesome. I mean, this was like I said, I've got a horrible paint job on this one because I kind of just wanted to go with our corporate colors and the blacks and the night camo on it and a little bit of green and then
I still like I honest truth I still like the check the that you did the what you call it the techno camo with the
yeah.
black
Well,
that looks really cool.
taking the the technical camo or whatever you want to call it, and just putting the night color scheme on it. It's something that I hadn't seen done yet, and since Tau also has the ability to have night vision, I thought it would be cool to kind of just go with the night camo, and then if it's a night mission, well, heck, I've got the lights, so what does it matter? Doing something like that is um, cool because I made it my own. That's
Yes,
really what it comes down to. It's something that I didn't sit there and look at the box and say I'm going to do it exactly like the box. I didn't look at the painting schemes that are in the codex and say I have to do this type of codex. It also allows me to create my own meta, my own story, um, my own skill sets. The fact that my Commander Farsight is not bright shiny red, like he would be in everything else, and I have him in a gray. I
that's
have
cool.
him as an off gray or a complementary color to the rest of my army instead of being something that stands out.
All right, you ready for number 7?
I am indeed.
Number 7. What's your opinion of a model maker to a war gamer, and is there that happy medium in between?
There absolutely is a happy medium. When we were at Adepticon this past week, we met anything from James Wapple, if you haven't looked at his YouTube channel and his videos or looked at his Painting Pyramid series of videos, he just did a recent Kickstarter. James' stuff is awesome, and Victoria Miniatures, they are model makers, but they understand the passion that goes into the gamer side because Reese Robbins of Frontline Gaming. If you know him on the blogs, he's known as Reese. All of his stuff is so artfully painted. Like his entire army, all of his lizardmen, everything that he had out there on the board are just so meticulously painted. And there is, I'd say, a happy medium because he doesn't just want to buy the kit, build the army, splash some paint on there, and just go play to say I'm going to play. He really wants to stand out as an individual, as an artist, and not get lost in the crowd. So there is a happy medium. I met some other people who are on the other end of the spectrum. They're like, well, we would never use your stuff. We just want to go buy the pieces that we want, build it, and put it on the board as fast as possible because we just want to be able to play the game, not necessarily worry about the arts and crafts side. And I said, that's cool, totally cool. And if that's the way that you want to play, that's the way you want to play. I don't think that there's a reason that somebody who wants to play should be hindered by the fact that their army is or isn't painted, or is or isn't modeled, well. It's a matter of participate, be part of the community in whatever facet it is. Just be a part of the community.
All right. Ready for the last question?
I am indeed, sir.
Last question is number 8. Who do you think I should ask these questions to next and why?
You know what? Get Reese on board. Reese would be a wonderful person to talk to you about. They do painting. They do a lot of commission work out of Frontline Gaming. I'd also talk to Mike Larson at Battle Bunker Games. I mean, Mike is the one who pulled together the Doom side for us. He also pulled together the Helldrake for us. And he's come up with some awesome ideas on how you can incorporate fiber optics into the eyes, the flame cannon, the massive Hinroids that he's got coming out of the engines here, using our kit. And, he was somebody who was a GW employee for a number of years and had a wonderful background in painting and modeling. So I would say he would be somebody absolutely you'd have to have on.
All
right. And yeah, he'd provide some good answers to the questions for you too.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to help me get those links. So after the show, you're gonna have to put them in the description in the chat. So
yep.
I know where to get these guys. Well, that's the show. And now that's the 8 questions. Now this is what I call shameless plug time. You can plug your Facebook, your Twitter, Kickstarter. I know you're gonna definitely plug it.
Mm-hmm.
Any friends or people you know, that your website, the whole 9 yards. Whatever you say goes right in the description down below. All I ask is what you do say, give me an email back of what you said. So I don't mess it up and screw it up at all. So
no problem.
Your turn. Go for it. Your time.
So again, we make an easy modular LED lighting kit. For anybody who's a modeler, if you've ever wanted to put lighting effects, if you ever sat there and looked at your lighting and said, God, I wish I could do this, and everything just looks so hard, we've got the easy kit for you. So check out our website, PoweredPlay.net. We're currently running a Kickstarter, which ends on the 5th of May, Cinco de Mayo, or the 6th. If you're seeing this afterwards, thanks for watching. Check us out on our website or go to our Kickstarter and see the updates. We will be in store soon. So, tell your local game store about us. If you want us to get our product, you can order it directly from us, or our friends over at Cool Mini or not. They're going to be carrying our product here in the near future too. Our blog is regularly updated with tips and tricks. Our YouTube channel, Powered Play Gaming, is regularly updated. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. I'd say anybody who's ever wanted to, if you've wanted to learn realistic lighting effects, if you've ever wanted to light your kit, if you've ever wanted to blow or blind your opponents with the power of something that they haven't seen before, or if you want to be the one to stand out in your local game store and you've got the time and the talent to do it, absolutely come check us out. We want to make it easy, fun, simple, and modular. On the horizon, it's going to be more than lights. We have sound effects, we have smoke effects, we have small vehicle kits, we have stuff for terrain specifically, we have small lit bases that we're going to be coming out with for all the different size bases. If you're a Warhammer player, if you're a War Machine player, if you're doing Flames of War, we're going to make it easy and simple for anybody to be able to take the power of light and put it in their stuff. So, check us out, follow us, and special thanks for us would definitely go to our friends at Battle Bunker Games who helped us build out a lot of our prototypes. And those who have been some of our original followers and advocates, like yourself, man.
All right. Is that everything?
That's it. Again, PowerPlay.net. Check us out. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you for being on the show. Well, that's the show, everybody. Thanks for watching, and thank you for being on it. And like I tell everybody, keep your blade sharp and let the hobby be fun. Bye, everybody.